Hello and welcome to yet another episode of general shenanigans on the Triumph Speedmaster. And I should just say quick shout out to those who have subscribed recently. Just before we do get started, yeah, quick thank you to all those who have subscribed. Those of you who haven't, and I know there are a lot of you, because in my last video I wanted you to try and help me get the numbers down from 90% not subscribing. It's now at 92%, so you know, thank you to those who have subscribed, but my god, the rest of you have really got to buck your ideas up slightly. There is an icon bottom right somewhere. You press that and you're given the opportunity, the great opportunity, I have to say, you know, not many people get this sort of opportunity, a great opportunity to subscribe to this channel, and that I'm sure would give you an incredible amount of satisfaction. I know it would give me some satisfaction, because my original aim was to get it down from sort of 90% to 50%, and all it's managed to do is go from 90% to 92%. Anyhow, that's by the by, of course. That was a Kawasaki Ninja, I think. I mean, it was green, so it's probably going to be Kawasaki Ninja. Oh my god, I can't even remember what I was talking about. Not that it was hugely important. Oh yes, I was just thanking people for subscribing and encouraging other people to take up the opportunity of subscribing. Yes, absolutely, yes. Press that button there, and you will feel hugely fulfilled today, because you know you have done something worthwhile and worthy, and all the rest of those sort of adjectives. Right. This video has absolutely no point to it. I should probably warn you of that from the beginning. If you're expecting something, you know, pretty educational or even useful or of interest, then you are entirely in the wrong place. This video has none of those useful things in. It is a category all of its own. And it goes under musings. I did one sort of similarly before, after we had some storms earlier in the year, and I did a video which I'll link top right there, called post-storm meanderings or something along those lines. Anyhow, basically it's of that ilk, and therefore of, you know, very little value in and of itself. We are in a world currently of virus pandemic, and I firstly wish any of you suffering from it the absolute best. It's pretty horrible from what I understand. A friend of mine has had it and said it was absolute hell. Worst flu, and then sort of ever, and then sort of something else on top. So if any of you are suffering and are hiding away in your beds watching this, which of course is one really good thing that you could be doing, then I do hope you wish you a swift recovery. I'm a teacher, so my term ended early because the school's closed. I think it was right to stay open as long as we could. You know, where else are children going to go? But you know, as soon as you've got staff falling by the wayside, as well as that's what I wanted to get petrol, bugger. I think it was the right thing to do, to stay open. Yeah, I genuinely believe it was. However, we got the forced shutdown on Friday, and that obviously was followed very quickly by the shutting of all pubs, restaurants, theatres, places that people congregate and share utensils. I also hear that one way well, two things. I noticed earlier that when I went to the supermarket that there was a really pretty girl cleaning the handles of the baskets, which I hadn't really thought of. I suppose that's an obvious place that you could pick up other people's germs from. I haven't seen, I mean, I've seen people going around wearing masks, but I haven't really seen them going around wearing gloves, which I suppose is probably more sensible than wearing masks. But anyhow, you don't see it. And then another thing I heard was petrol pump handles, or if you're in America, gas stations where you put your gas in your car. Over here in the UK we call it petrol, because that's what it is, and they are petrol pumps because they pump it out into your car. And apparently the handles of those are absolute breeding grounds of all things filthy. So usually they do have those little sort of gloves available, those little plasticky white flappy things, or white flat, see-through, translucent, there you go, proper word. Is that right? Translucent? No, translucent's milky, isn't it? Colour. Transparent, that's see-through. Anyhow, so might be worth wearing some gloves if you go to the petrol station, or if you ride a bike, just don't take your gloves off when you pour the petrol in, is another option. Quite how you then clean your gloves, I'm not sure, so maybe that's not an option. Anywho, the fact that gyms have now closed has made sort of exercise that much more difficult. And one of the things that the government has said all along is that maintaining some good exercise protocols, and really continuing doing your exercises is a really important thing to be doing. Now obviously, if you don't want to leave your house, then well, you're stuck doing yoga in front of the television or your laptop or whatever it is that's gonna teach you how to do yoga. I'm not too sure about that. I have to say, I never really thought I'd be taking up yoga, but if I'm not allowed to leave the house, then I guess finding some inappropriately tight clothing and doing some very odd movements and pretending I'm a tree in the living room is going to keep me about as healthy and sane as well as anything else. If you're not allowed into gyms, I have actually seen it the last couple of days, a lot more people out and about, and I know we're not supposed to go out and about, but we've also been told that we've got to exercise, and so people are, it's really weird, people are kind of out exercising, either cycling or running or going for a walk or whatever, but trying as best they can to stay a few meters apart, or which isn't easy. I also saw yesterday, and I think I can probably insert the clip from that here, lots of people taking exercise all a metre away from each other, 2 meters away from each other. So there are lots of people exercising outside, at the playgrounds and whatnot. They don't get cleaned or disinfected. Gyms do. By the end, people were saying that there were more cleaners in the gyms than actual gymmers. So, who's going to go around cleaning the playgrounds? Because that's where children are going to go, and indeed people that want to flex their muscles. If we do get the lockdown call, which might happen, as it has in other European countries, it'll especially happen if people still don't behave and still go to large gatherings or go to coffee shops even though they're closed, or the equivalent. If people don't do what they're told and stay away from kind of social gatherings, then the government will bring in lockdown, and that'll be shit for all of us. So hopefully people are kind of doing their own thing and keeping distance from each other. I mean, I have to say, there is nothing better than a motorbike, because it's just you. You're in a helmet, hopefully, should be. If you're not, wear one. And also, if you're not wearing a full face helmet, you should be. And that video up there will show you the reason why. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, motorbikes being perfect for self-isolation, because you're outside, you've got fresh air, you're not touching anybody, you're not breathing in their disgusting germs, you're only breathing in your own disgusting germs. So, you know, it's perfect. And it has to be better than sitting in your living room playing COD or Fortnite or whatever else, you know, people are doing. That's another thing. The games and streaming industries must be making a fortune. This is Christmas for them. And to be honest, I understand it. I mean, what else? I mean, unless you're gonna replay the episode, that part of Ghost where you learn to make clay pots with your fingers intertwined behind Demi Moore or whoever it was, you know, which has its appealing points. What are you going to do if you have to get stuck inside? I mean, it's a tricky. I mean, obviously you can go through loads of books, you can watch interesting stuff on TV, but you know, if you're 15, well, anywhere between sort of, well, if you're a child, and not even just children, what are you going to do? Of course, games provide you an escape, don't they, from the utter boredom you'll be feeling of being stuck indoors for 3 months. I suppose what you could do is get one of those game systems that that kind of promote activity. So you could get like a tennis game or a golf game. Though, to be honest, you just go and play golf, because let's face it, you're not, unless you're on lockdown. But until that happens, you go and play golf, because you're not near anybody else. You generally spend most of the time in the rough. At least I do. Or looking for your ball and never being able to find it. So actually you're nowhere near anybody else. And you're in the fresh air. All good things, surely. Still in their pyjamas. Colouring in their driveway, that's rather good. So that's something you could do. You can get outside with a whole load of coloured chalks and colour in your driveway. That'll take a while. Each individual little bricklet or whatever. Or you can do little pictures. You could take up blogging, or video blogging, or vlogging, moto vlogging, if you happen to have a motorbike. I could learn to be better at editing. I'm so bad at editing. What do people use for their editing things? I mean, I use DaVinci Resolve, like the free version, which is, most of it is far beyond me. I use about 2 things, and that's it. I do that. I can cut bits, and I'm slowly learning to kind of do other stuff, but it's quite complicated. I have a lot more respect for cinematographers and people who video edit and edit films and all that stuff. It's massively technical. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's great fun, but I'm just not very good at it.